Part 110. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1091. Walk all the way. Xiao Xian regretfully discovered that in the entire Yuling city, he didn't feel familiar at all. Instead, he felt as if he was in a strange continent. At the same time, not long after leaving, he became a little tired. I found a random restaurant and went in, intending to have something to eat and rest before continuing my search. In fact, after entering the Blue God realm, practitioners no longer need to eat to replenish energy in the body. Even if they eat wind and drink dew every day, they can still rely on the spiritual energy from the outside to maintain body functions. Only. After all, Xiao Xian was an earthling before traveling through time. He has always maintained the habit of eating 3 meals a day. Although sometimes it is not so regular, he has never given up his desire for words. After entering the restaurant, after ordering a few random meals, I sat down and ate. While eating, he also noticed that the food in this restaurant not only tasted good, but also contained spiritual energy. This aroused his curiosity. In fact, when he entered the restaurant, he had already noticed that there were not only ordinary people in the restaurant, but also some cultivators with advanced abilities. Xiao Xian originally thought, this should be because the food in this restaurant is delicious, which attracts so many people's interest. But judging from the condition of this meal, that doesn't seem to be the case. If there is spiritual energy contained in this meal, it is already equivalent to the lowest level elixir. It can replenish the spiritual power of the practitioner's body. Thinking of this, Xiao Xian directly called the waiter of the restaurant over. The waiter in this shop was a little impatient at first, but after seeing hundreds of stones, he started to talk more. Turn out to be. This restaurant is called Lingxiang Banquet. It is a restaurant that specializes in providing meals for cultivators. The food and wine inside have considerable spiritual power. Although it's expensive, the results are really great. Therefore, it is favored by cultivators and is also the largest intelligence gathering center in Yuling City. Hear this. Xiao Xian also became interested, and casually began to inquire about the current situation of the 3 Eastern alliances. In his impression, Yuling City should be the dojo of Yuling sect. As the former 3 Eastern alliances of Nanzan Heizhu, the Yuling sect should be considered a force that should not be underestimated even if it was not strong at the time. If you can find out about the Yuling sect, maybe you can also get news about Hanxian or Hanzhong. Yuling sect. The current Yuling sect is not as good as before. After hearing what Xiao Xian said, the waiter shook his head regretfully. Decades ago, the Spirit Snake Alliance became the dominant one. The 3 Eastern alliances have long since ceased to exist. The entire eastern part of Nanzan Heizhu is decided by the Spirit Snake Alliance. What? This change can actually hit you like this? Xiao Xian frowned slightly. He also thought that after hundreds of years of vicissitudes, there should be some unknown changes. But he didn't expect it. The changes in Yuling City are so drastic. You must know that the former Yuling sect must have a solid foundation to be able to rank among the 3 Eastern alliances. In addition, there is also the blessing of the Fish Spirit Pill Pagoda. Even if the Yuling sect declines, it cannot decline so quickly. But now, it seems that things are a little different. If the waiter hadn't lied, the Yuling sect would have faced a life and death crisis. Where is the White Flame Valley? In addition to the Fish Spirit sect and the Spirit Snake Alliance, didn't the former 3 Eastern alliances also have the White Flame Valley? Xiao Xian asked. By the way, it is said that back then, there was a stunningly talented Bai King Yun, wasn't it? Hear these words. The waiter looked at Xiao Xian with strange eyes and quickly stopped him. Master, do you really not know or are you pretending not to know? Bai Qingyun is going to marry Snake Feng from the Spirit Snake Alliance soon. Oh. Is there still this matter? Xiao Xian was stunned again. Speaking of which, he had some fond impressions of Bai Qingyun from Bian Valley at that time. Although this woman is dressed a little more openly. But he didn't have any bad intentions, and even helped him out once. However, he remembered that Bai Qingyun didn't have a good impression of Shifeng at that time, but had a good relationship with Qin Long. Why are Shifeng and Bai Qingyun getting married instead? If Qin Long of the Yuling sect knew about this matter, wouldn't he just blow it up? Speak of it. Miss Bai Qingyun is helpless. Since the Spirit Snake Alliance obtained a secret technique from somewhere decades ago, its strength has become stronger day by day. There are actually 2 strong men in the Dragon God realm within the sect. With the help of 2 strong men in the Dragon God realm, Xiao and Shi Qing, the Spirit Snake Alliance suddenly became the leader of the 3 Eastern alliances. But the Spirit Snake Alliance has great ambitions. Not only does it want to be the boss, but it plans to go one step further and directly annex the White Flame Valley and the Yuling section. As for Bian Valley, they plan to get married. As for the Yuling sect, they plan to wipe it out. The waiter lowered his voice. It is said that on the day when Shifeng and Bai Qingyun are happy, these 2 Dragon God realm experts from the Spirit Snake Alliance will take action against the Yuling section. Counting the days, it will be the day after tomorrow. Hear this. Xiao Xian's face was a little more solemn. Before, he might not have cared about these things at all. After all, he was not originally from Nanzan Haizhu, and he had no feelings for the sect of Nanzan Haizhu. The fights between these sects have nothing to do with him. But things are different now. After he became a disciple of Lord Yuling on the 9th floor of the Yuling Pil Pagoda, he was now considered a member of the Yuling sect. With this layer of identity, it was impossible for him to turn a blind eye to the disaster with the Yuling sect. Just now, what makes him a little embarrassed is that his current strength is only 5 stars in the Blue God realm. Maybe he still has the strength to fight against the strong men in the Little Golden God realm. Facing the Dragon God realm, there is no other way. Sir, do you have any other questions? Seeing that Xiao Xian stopped talking, the waiter asked carefully. There is none left. Go and do your work. Xiao Xian threw the Dao stone in his hand to the waiter and stood up to leave. But at this moment, he felt a familiar presence not far away. When he raised his head, his eyes suddenly lit up. Not far away was a masked old man wearing a cloak. Isn't it Han Xian? I saw that the old man Han Xian was still carrying his wine gourd, and as soon as he entered the door, he asked the waiter for a drink. Look at that dusty look. It was as if he had just come back from outside the city. Xiao Xian even smelled a faint smell of blood from Han Xian's body, as if this guy had just experienced a battle. Just when Xiao Xian hesitated. Do you want to walk over directly? At the door of the restaurant, several muscular men wearing green shorts and holding swords appeared. As soon as these people entered the door, they locked their eyes on Han Xian. People from the Spirit Snake Alliance. Why did they come to Yuling City? You are still so presumptuous. Do you think you want to wipe out the Yuling sect in advance? There was a lot of discussion in the restaurant. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1092. It's hard to say. It seems like the Spirit Snake Alliance is planning to take action. I can't believe it. The Yuling sect, which has ruled Yuling City for hundreds of years, is going to be destroyed in a few days. I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse. Actually, both White Flame Valley and Yuling sect have strong men in the Dragon God realm. As long as they work together, they might not be able to compete with the Spirit Snake Alliance. Even Elder Jin Snake is here. I'm afraid something is wrong. Strong men in green shirts walked into the restaurant. Xiao Xian also heard the discussions of some diners in the restaurant. Although the voices of these people were not loud, he could still hear them clearly with his God-level soul. I just listened to the waiter's words before. He was still somewhat doubtful. The Yuling sect can be regarded as a large sect that has been around for hundreds of years. It once had strong men at the level of the dragon god as its sect, and it has a profound foundation. How could it be destroyed overnight? In this regard, Xiao Xian really didn't believe it. But now, after hearing so many people talking, his face naturally became more solemn. Now that he has received the inheritance from Lord Yuling. In addition, with this relationship between him and Han Xian, he naturally could not stand by and watch the disaster of Yuling sect. Han Xian, I didn't expect you to be able to hide in Yuling city for such a long time. I really don't know why you are still insisting when even South Korea and China have surrendered. A skinny old man in golden robes and a mustache came out and said with a sinister sneer, "Is it possible that you, Han Xian, still think that you are at your peak?" For this skinny old man, Han Xian didn't pay attention at all. Instead, he took the initiative to walk up to the waiter in the restaurant, took out the wine gourd and said, "I want the best wine in your restaurant." The waiter is just an ordinary person. Although I have seen many cultivators in daily life, I have never seen such a large formation. A strong man in the realm of the little golden god. With any random attack, this restaurant could be wiped out. Even if an ordinary person like him was killed directly by the people of the Spirit Snake Alliance, no one would say a word for him. This. Elder Han, you. The waiter was horrified. He also did not expect that Han Xian, the former master of Yuling sect, would dare to return to Yuling city after being set up by the Spirit Snake Alliance. Even arrogantly coming to a restaurant to drink. Does he really want to die? For a while. The waiter in this shop was also hesitant and did not dare to move, for fear that he would accidentally offend the Golden Snake Elder of the Spirit Snake Alliance and risk his own life. Give him wine. Who doesn't know that Elder Han Xian is addicted to alcohol? If he can't even drink when he is about to die, wouldn't it mean that our Spirit Snake Alliance is too stingy? Elder Jin Snake laughed ferociously and motioned to the waiter with his eyes. Now, the waiter who was caught in the middle was on the verge of crying. He naturally understood that neither Han Xian, who was being hunted, nor Elder Golden Snake, who was hunting others, were existences that he could not provoke. Facing such a character, maybe a little careless, his life was about to end. But now, he understands better that if he doesn't listen to the words of Elder Jin Snake, he may die faster. Thinking of this, he did not dare to neglect, and hurriedly filled Han Xian's wine gourd. As for Han Xian, after looking back at Elder Jin Snake's formation, his face became a little more calm. He ripped off his cloak directly. Only then did Xiao Xian notice. After hundreds of years of not seeing each other, Han Xian's face has not changed at all, he still looks like an old man with a smile. It was the same situation as when we met at Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. This made Xiao Xian a little surprised. He also knows. After cultivators reach the Golden God realm, they almost have immortality. As a former Golden God realm, Han Xian naturally also has the constitution of immortality. Only to see it again now. He was somewhat surprised. Golden Snake. I didn't expect that an old boy like you is still alive. Han Xian turned his head slightly, and when he saw the person coming, his lips became more contemptuous. Once upon a time, you were still kneeling in front of me, begging me to spare your life. Snored. This time, that time. Han Xian, no matter how powerful you were, what could you do? Do you think you can walk out of this restaurant alive today? Obviously, Han Xian's words touched upon the pain point of Elder Jin Snake. For a moment, Elder Jin Snake's body was filled with aura. The domineering Golden Snake aura firmly locked onto Xiao Xian. Inside the restaurant, tensions instantly rose. These fierce auras have reached the level of the little golden god realm. It is obvious that Elder Jin Snake is a strong man in the little golden god realm. A strong man of this level. Among the entire Nanzan Hai's Hu, it may not be considered the top. However, anyone with a discerning eye can now see that the Spirit Snake Alliance is gathering strength to attack the Yuling sect. Now I'm going against Elder Jin Snake. It is equivalent to going against the entire Spirit Snake Alliance. The less trouble, the better. Although it seems a bit shameless that so many people from the Spirit Snake Alliance are besieging Han Xian, no one is really willing to stand up. Good wine, good wine. As expected of the wine brewed by our Yuling city, it is sweet and fragrant. I wonder if there will be such wine after the jackals come in the future. Regarding the provocation of the Golden Snake Elder, Han Xian was not afraid and seemed not to take him seriously at all. Instead, he began to lament the fate of the drink. Hear this. Elder Jin Snake was naturally full of anger. He was not a fool, and he could tell that Han Xian's words were just to ridicule him. To know. Now almost all the cultivators in the eastern part of Nanzan Hai's who know that the Spirit Snake Alliance has risen, and it is a certainty that it will take over Yuling City in the future, and even become the eastern overlord of the entire Nanzan Hai's Hu. Therefore, Elder Jin Snake is only in the low-level Golden God realm, so he has the courage to be so presumptuous in Yuling City. What he relies on is nothing more than the Spirit Snake Alliance behind him. But now, Han Xian is at the end of his rope, and even the guy who is surrounded still dares to speak so brazenly. Isn't this provoking the entire Spirit Snake Alliance? Ha ha. I have long heard that the leader of the Yuling sect, Han Xian, hates evil as much as he hates his enemies. Now it seems that this is indeed the case. Elder Jin Snake laughed angrily. However, at this moment, sect leader Han Xian is indeed a little ungrateful. Aren't you afraid of dying here today? Say this. A group of disciples from the Spirit Snake Alliance immediately surrounded Han Xian. Xiao Xian frowned slightly. He noticed that except for Elder Jin He, whose strength reached the little golden god realm, the other disciples of the Spirit Snake Alliance were only at the peak of the blue god realm. Obviously these people are not that strong. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1093. See this. Xiao Xian couldn't help but become curious. He knew Han Xian's strength. Although it was not as good as when he was at his peak, not everyone could challenge him. Logically speaking. Now, except for the Golden Snake Elders of the Little Golden God realm, these disciples at the peak of the Blue God realm pose no threat to him at all. You can even kill them instantly. The weird thing is, Han Xian just drank one mouthful and seemed to have no intention of resisting. Ha 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 ha. It seems that our elder Shiqing is right. After sealing the spiritual veins of your Yuling sect, your Yuling sect's strength is far less than before. Now, your strength is at the peak of the Blue God realm. With such strength, how can you fight with our Spirit Snake Alliance? After watching for a while, Elder Jin Snake smiled with satisfaction. A few days ago, two Dragon God realm powerhouses, Xiao and Shiqing from the Spirit Snake Alliance, teamed up to destroy the spiritual veins of Yuling City, and used the Spirit Snake Avenue to seal the Yuling Avenue. Therefore, most of the cultivators of the Yuling sect have had their great power weakened. This is also Elder Jin Snake, a cultivator in the realm of the Little Golden God. At this moment, the reason why he dared to challenge Han Xian, a former powerful man in the Golden God realm. Shameless. Even if it was Han Xian, after hearing the words of Elder Jin Snake, he still couldn't help but cursed coldly. If our Lord Yuling hadn't disappeared, you Spirit Snake Alliance would have been ants under our feet. Ha ha ha. Sect Master Han Xian, can it be said that you have only grown older over the years? Elder Jin Snake said with a look of regret, however, you are right, Sect Leader Han. If it were your previous strength, I really wouldn't dare to confront you head on, but things are different now, aren't they? Hear this. Although Han Xian was angry inside, but he also had to admit that what Elder Jin Snake said was the truth. Since the spiritual veins of the Yuling sect were destroyed, the strength of the disciples of the Yuling sect has been greatly reduced. After this incident, the Yuling sect, which was already weak among the three Eastern alliances, has plummeted in status. The White Flame Valley is unable to support itself alone, and it is also unable to resist the Spirit Snake Alliance. The Spirit Snake Alliance has naturally become the strongest among the three Eastern alliances. You are quite confident. Don't you know that within our Yuling sect, there is also a powerful Dragon God realm expert, Lord Yuling? Han Xian's face was gloomy. One day, when the old man wakes up, your entire Spirit Snake Alliance will be buried with him. Ha ha ha. Venerable Fish Spirit. Could it be that Sect Master Han is talking about that old guy who doesn't know whether to live or die, and wants to break through to the Dragon God realm, but has been missing for hundreds of years? Elder Jin Snake looked sarcastic, not to mention whether this old guy is still alive. Even if he is alive, he can't do anything to us even if we have two strong Dragon God realm masters, Xiao and Shi Qing, here. This was said with great force. There was a sudden silence in the restaurant. Indeed. A strong man in the Dragon God realm. Even in the entire Nanzan Heizhu, he is considered to be the top powerhouse. The Spirit Snake Alliance can have two strong men at the Dragon God level at the same time, which is indeed enough to dominate the eastern part of Nanzan Heizhu. This is also their greatest confidence. Nowadays, the Yuling sect is in decline. Although the Yuling Zun mentioned by Han Xian once existed, water from afar cannot quench the thirst of the near. The Yuling sect is only one step away from being exterminated. Unless Lord Yuling suddenly appears, the Yuling sect may not be able to avoid this catastrophe. But even Han Xian himself knew it at this moment. Now, the reason why they place their hopes on this venerable fish spirit, who has not been heard from for hundreds of years, is helpless. Then please ask Master Han Xian to come with us. We, Elder Sheking, want to meet you. Elder Jin Snake didn't waste any time and said directly, don't worry, we, Elder Jin Snake, have a lot of people and won't argue with you on these small things. This was said very arrogantly. For a time, even the people in the restaurant heard it. It is clear. Facing the people of the Yuling sect, the Spirit Snake Alliance still maintained a condescending attitude and did not take the people of the Yuling sect at all. For such a gesture, if it were placed before, people in the Spirit Snake Alliance would not even dare to think about it. Want to take him away. But it also depends on whether I agree or not. Xiao Xian looked calm, but his voice clearly reached the ears of every disciple of the Spirit Snake Alliance. This time, the disciples of the Spirit Snake Alliance were all shocked. Everyone looked at Xiao Xian with disbelief on their faces. Elder Jin Snake even frowned slightly, but when he saw clearly that Xiao Xian was only at the 5-star level of Kangshen realm, he sneered. Senior Han. The Xiao Xian in front of him is the future hope of Yuling sect. Even in the Dan Pagoda. At the same time, he was also seriously injured. He knew that he could not escape the tracking of the Spirit Snake Alliance in the eastern part of Nanzan Heizhu, so he took the initiative to enter Yuling City. 5 stars in the Blue God realm. Han Xian was a little distracted for a moment. Xiao Xian also walked up to Han Xian openly and bowed respectfully, leave the fate of the Yuling sect to me, this junior. Did you hear Xiao Xian's voice at this time? Kill 2 of them and seriously injure 1. Han Xian's first reaction was to feel relieved. But after hearing this voice, then we can say, he planned to take a sip of Yuling City's fine wine and then die calmly. Han Xian quickly used the power of the avenue in his body, gathered his strength, and stood in front of Xiao Xian again. Are you, Xiao Xian? Han Xian's mouth moved slightly. The Yuling Dan Pagoda was created by Venerable Yuling back then. Today. Xiao Xian, leave quickly. But the next second, he couldn't laugh anymore. He knew that Elder Jin Snake's strength was in the little golden god realm. Even if he stood in front of Elder Jin Snake, he would not look twice. Who knew that he would jump out to help the people of Yuling sect now? Isn't this just boring life? For hundreds of years, he has been waiting for this voice to ring again, but every time he came outside the Danta, he always came back disappointed. Today, we must not be captured by Elder Jin Snake, let alone be dragged down because of him. More importantly, finally found you. I'm here to stall for time. From now on, the Yuling sect will rely on you. Hear this. The truth of this surprised and delighted him, and he couldn't believe his ears and eyes. In such a realm, if you were placed in the Spirit Snake Alliance, you would probably be just an ordinary disciple. After getting some inheritance, it is not an easy thing to challenge beyond a level. If Xiao Xian really received some chance inheritance, it must have been left by Master Yuling. And Xiao Xian's current aura is only 5 stars in the common life realm. Such a character. He fought against the 3 elders of the Spirit Snake Alliance alone. Who knows? Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1094. Ha ha ha. It's interesting. I didn't expect that when I came to arrest you, Han Xian, I would meet a remnant of the Yuling sect. Looking at the scene in front of me, Elder Jin Snake sneered a few times instead. In his opinion, Han Xian and Xiao Xian are at the peak of the Blue God realm and the other is a 5-star Blue God realm. Such strength is not worth mentioning at all. As long as he takes action at will. You can even catch these 2 people unscathed. But what Han Xian said just now, it really piqued his interest. It seems that Han Xian mentioned the future of Yuling sect. Is it possible that this 5-star disciple of the Blue God realm can become the future of the Yuling sect? But before, it seems that they have never heard of such a person in the Yuling sect. But after thinking about it for a while, Elder Jin Snake no longer struggled. The 2 people in front of them, with such low strength, are now surrounded by others. It can be said that they are already turtles in the urn. He could catch them now if he wanted to. Let them know how powerful the Spirit Snake Alliance is. When these 2 people are escorted back to the Spirit Snake Alliance and rewarded based on their merits, he will be considered a meritorious figure. Thinking of this, the eyes of Elder Jin Snake when he looked at Xiao Xian and the 2 men were filled with greed, as if he saw 2 big pieces of fat. For this fiery look, Xiao Xian was really tired, with a look of disgust on his face. Joke. This dying old man gave him such a disgusting look. What was he doing? If the other party is a young, beautiful woman, maybe he will forgive me a little or 2. Result. This is a bad old man with dirt up to his neck. Isn't this just a disgusting person? In an instant, without waiting for Elder Jin Snake to take action, Xiao Xian directly released his god-level soul power. Directly suppress these disciples of the Spirit Snake Alliance. In an instant, a group of disciples led by Elder Jin Snake seemed to feel that an invisible mountain fell from the sky and hit him. This big mountain. It's not just a pressure on their bodies. More importantly, their souls were subjected to an unmatchable force. Such strong divine soul pressure. God level, must be the pressure of God level. I am a master of the soul of the first level of reality. My life is at stake. Not even a second. Elder Jin Snake and a group of others started to bleed from their orifices and fell to the ground dead. Everyone's souls were annihilated by Xiao Xian. Instantly kill the little golden god realm. This scene. Not only Han Xian was shocked, but even Xiao Xian himself didn't expect it. He just knows that the God-level soul is a more powerful existence than the real soul, but today is the first time that it is used in a battle with someone. Did not expect. It brought him such a big surprise as soon as he took action. This was not the first time he had seen a strong man at the level of the little gold god. At that time, the Mu Lao worshipper of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce was a figure of this level. When leaving the eastern wilderness continent, Xiao Xian had no ability to resist when faced with a powerful man like Mu Lao worshipping him. Who knows? This has only been a few short months. He can kill such a person instantly. Although, according to the conversion of time in the Dan Pagoda, a few months in the Dan Pagoda is hundreds of years in the outside world. But no one knows. Will the passage of time in Nanzan Haizhu affect Dong Huang Zhu? Could it be said that it has been hundreds of years on the eastern wilderness continent? For a while. Xiao Xian has no way of knowing. But at this moment, he killed Elder Golden Snake and a group of Spirit Snake Alliance disciples with one move, which had caused an uproar inside and outside the restaurant. Looking at Elder Jinshi and others lying on the ground, these cultivators were all frightened. Some were unwilling to cause trouble and ran away in a hurry, some were brave enough to check, and some were treacherous and ready to take action against Xiao Xian and Han Xian. Your strength has improved so much. Han Xian was also surprised. Once upon a time, when he first brought Xiao Xian to Nanzan Haizhu, the latter was only a second star Kang Shen realm person. At that time they were still very cautious. For fear of provoking the big sects, even the original Yuling sect did not dare to enter. Who knows now? Xiao Xian has grown to this point, and with just one divine soul power, he can instantly kill a powerful person in the little golden god realm. Han Xian also saw clearly the move just now. He can roughly judge. Just relying on the strength of that move just now, Xiao Xian's soul power has at least reached the god level. Such a level of soul. Not to mention the little golden god realm, even a truly powerful person in the golden god realm may not be able to achieve it. Just rely on this. Han Xian was already ashamed of himself. Small-scale chopper. Senior Han, how are you? Are you injured? Regarding what just happened, Xiao Xian was only surprised for a moment, and he quickly came to his senses. The Spirit Snake Alliance suddenly rises. But who knows? As soon as he opened his mouth, his next words were interrupted by Han Xian. Could it be that? Explain the inheritance he received from the Lord Fish Spirit in the Dan Pagoda. Xiao Xian couldn't help but look at Han Xian twice more. So why didn't they react at all? Watching the sudden rise of the Spirit Snake Alliance. We'd better leave quickly and go to Yuling sect first. He began to care about Han Xian's injury. The current leader of Yuling sect should be Han Xian's younger brother Han Zhong. He's a little weird. Could it be that he met a strong man in the dragon god realm? Moreover, looking at Han Xian's current appearance, he looked exactly like the leader of the Yuling sect. Han Xian used to be a strong man at the level of the golden god. Even if his strength has regressed a bit, he will not be so depressed. I'm still a little curious. What happened in the past few hundred years? Why did the Spirit Snake Alliance suddenly rise? It's a long story. Isn't Han Xian afraid that Han Zhong will take action against him? Among the three Eastern alliances in Nanzan Haizhu, they should know each other very well. Think of this. No matter what benefits you get from the Dan Pagoda this time, it is your own creation. There is no need to tell me. He actually plans to go directly to the Yuling sect? Wouldn't this be delivered directly to your door? Yuling sect? Xiao Xian originally wanted to explain. Xiao Xian was stunned and couldn't help but look at Han Xian with doubt. But no need to say more. Xiao Xian really didn't understand this. Xiao Xian couldn't help but be a little suspicious. After Han Zhong betrayed the Yuling sect, Han Xian took over the Yuling sect instead and became the leader of the Yuling sect? According to his understanding. Now listen to what Han Xian means. Han Xian looked serious. After what happened today, I'm afraid the Spirit Snake Alliance will take action against the Yuling sect soon. That it is impossible for Yuling sect and Bian Valley to know nothing. Before, he had heard from Han Xian that the latter was a sect leader who was driven away by the Yuling section. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1095. It's a long story. In fact, for hundreds of years, the most powerful among the three Eastern alliances has been the Yuling section. But in recent decades, the Spirit Snake Alliance seems to have had some wonderful opportunities. Two Dragon God Realm experts suddenly appeared, so they suddenly became the strongest among the three Eastern alliances. Han Xian said. Two powerful men in the Dragon God Realm. Hearing this, Xiao Xian couldn't help but be surprised. Before, he only heard the waiter say this, and he originally thought it was just spreading rumors. But now these words came out of Han Xian's mouth. Then the situation is different. This shows that this is indeed the case. This is a bit strange. A strong person at the level of Dragon God. Such a character is extremely top-notch even if placed in Nanzan Hai's Hu. On that note, the fact that two powerful men of this level can appear in the Spirit Snake Alliance at the same time is enough for them to dominate the three Eastern alliances. More importantly, anyone with eyesight can see it now. After the appearance of two Dragon God Realm powerhouses in the Spirit Snake Alliance, they actually plan to attack the Yuling sect and White Flame Valley at the same time. On that note, the Spirit Snake Alliance is extremely threatening to the entire three Eastern alliances. So, Senior Han, what are you going to do? Xiao Xian asked carefully. Tell the Yuling sect your identity, activate the sect's formation, and try to teleport you back to the Eastern Wasteland continent as much as possible. Han Xian thought for a moment and said, after you came out of the Fish Spirit Pill Tower, did you get the inheritance from the Lord Yu Spirit? Ask this question. If it were someone else, maybe Xiao Xian won't say much yet. However, on Nanzan Hai's Hu, Han Xian may be the only person he can trust, so he simply told the truth. As expected. After hearing Xiao Xian's explanation, Han Xian was also shocked. Obviously, he did not expect that venerable fish spirit could hide a trace of shadow on the 9th floor of the Dan Pagoda. But at the same time, he kind of knew it. This is an extremely important and secret matter, and Xiao Xian is still told not to mention it to anyone. Including the fact that Xiao Xian has worshipped Master Yuling. Xiao Xian himself understood this. He knew very well that Venerable Yuling, who was once a strong man in the Dragon God realm, would rather hide in the small Dan Pagoda than come out. This means there is something more dangerous outside. Things that can make the Dragon God realm feel scared, things at this level are definitely not something they can bear. On that note, Xiao Xian decided to follow the wishes of Lord Yuling and keep this matter secret, so as to prevent more people from knowing. Only, he is about to face the people of Yuling sect. He was still a little worried and didn't know what kind of identity would be more appropriate to meet these people. I really want to talk about it. The Yuling sect can also be regarded as an old sect in Nanzan Hai's Hu, with a profound foundation. At this moment, Xiao Xian is still only a 5-star cultivator in the Blue God realm, even though he just killed the Golden Snake Elder. It can be regarded as a meritorious service to the Yuling sect. However, it was his first time to go to a large sect like Yuling sect, so he felt a little nervous. Don't be nervous. The Yuling sect is not as scary as you think. Actually, most of the disciples in Yuling sect are good, and there are only a few people like Han Zhong. Han Xian consoled him. For this consolation, Xiao Xian was a little non-committal. Are most of the disciples of the Yuling sect pretty good? Is this probably Han Xian's wishful thinking? You must know that at that time, it was these disciples of Yuling sect who drove Han Xian away. Although South Korea and China may play a greater role in it, but without everyone's nod from Yuling sect. How could Han Xian, the former sect leader, leave the Yuling sect in such a desolate state? Even Dao Dong Huang Juz who seeks help? These things. Xiao Xian naturally blamed the Yuling sect. Walk all the way. Xiao Xian and Han Xian also came to the core of Yuling city, the center of the Yuling sect. He saw a large mountain stands majestically, with smoke-like aura and lush trees on the mountain. The Yuling sect is located in the mountains. Within the mountains, he vaguely felt that there was a strange formation, and the movement of the formation also caused spiritual energy to gather. Everything is instilled into the sect. There are 3 characters written on the huge stone tablet, which is the Yuling sect. As expected of a large section. Being able to establish the sect in this mountain with rich spiritual energy, it seems that the Yuling sect was also very powerful at that time. Xiao Xian couldn't help but sigh. He knew how important a sect address with rich spiritual energy was to the disciples in the sect. But after all, the Feng Shui treasures in the world are limited. In the world of practitioners, it's not that you can take over the Feng Shui treasure land as a matter of course if you come early. On the contrary, you must have enough strength. The Yuling sect can establish its sect here. This is enough to prove how domineering and powerful the Yuling sect was at that time. This place was chosen by Venerable Yuling hundreds of years ago, and 1,000-year spiritual energy formation was arranged here. As long as the formation is running, it can absorb the spiritual energy of the entire mountain for the sect's use. As long as the formation is not broken, it can protect the Yuling sect for thousands of years. It's a pity that since the disappearance of Master Yuling, there has never been a dragon god level expert in the Yuling section. Therefore, the power of the spiritual energy formation has been weakened year by year, and it is no longer what it used to be. Han Xian said helplessly. Hearing this, Xiao Xian also sighed with emotion. In fact, the situation in Yuling sect is considered normal. Even though the establishment of a sect is a matter of people planting trees for future generations to enjoy the shade. However, if future generations really fail to live up to their expectations, it is normal for the sect to decline year by year. Just like now. If there is a dragon god realm powerhouse in the Yuling sect, no matter what, relying on the power of the spiritual energy formation can at least ensure the safety of the sect. How could we end up in this situation? But no matter what, things have reached this point. Since Xiao Xian has received the inheritance from Master Yuling, he naturally has to bear some responsibilities. At least, he couldn't just watch the Yuling sect being destroyed by the Spirit Snake Alliance. Follow Han Xian to the sect gate. Xiao Xian noticed that there were only a few disciples in the huge sect. These disciples were also in a hurry and looked panicked. They all seemed to have expressions of imminent disaster. This made him really helpless. He originally thought. After all, the Yuling sect was once a large section. Even if its strength is not as strong as before, it should not be defeated at a stroke or surrender without a fight. But now it seems that he is still a little too optimistic. In the entire Yuling sect, could it be that no one still has the will to fight? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1096. Incredible. What was once one of the 3 Eastern alliances has actually fallen into such disrepair. Han Xian couldn't help but sigh. In fact, from the bottom of his heart, Xiao Xian was a little helpless. He was now considered the disciple of Lord Yuling, and he was half a member of the Yuling sect. At this moment, the huge Yuling sect looked like this. He felt somewhat uncomfortable. Let's go. I believe that there will be no spineless people in the Yuling section. However, Han Xian was still very confident and walked directly into the Yuling sect. Along the way, Xiao Xian and Han Xian also met many Yuling sect disciples, but these disciples were running out carrying large and small bags. He even lost the sect gown he was wearing. Obviously they don't want to have anything to do with the Yuling sect. For these spineless people, even Xiao Xian, who usually had a good temper, was a little angry, and he couldn't help but want to take action. But he was stopped by Han Xian. According to Han Xian, there is no need to waste the power of the great Dao on these people at this moment. Since Han Xian said so, Xiao Xian could only give up. However, when the two of them walked to the Yuling sect's hall, their faces were livid with anger at the scene in front of them. Turn out to be in the entire Yuling sect hall. All the things had been moved cleanly by the disciples just now, leaving only a trace of mess. The war is coming, and people's hearts are uncertain. In addition, the apparent strength of the Yuling sect is not as good as that of the Spirit Snake Alliance. Some disciples were afraid. This is also a very normal thing. But now, in the entire Yuling sect, there is no one who is in charge of the overall situation and unifying the army to prepare for war. Isn't this equivalent to surrendering without a fight? Think of this. Xiao Xian also showed a bit of dissatisfaction on his face. If we say that we no longer even meet the elders of the Yuling sect, does this mean that the Yuling sect has no fighting spirit? To this, Xiao Xian couldn't help but shook his head and said, no wonder so many cultivators in Yuling city don't think highly of Yuling section. Judging from the current situation, there is really no chance of winning. So what if there's no chance of winning? As long as I, Long Tai, am still here, the Yuling sect will not be destroyed. Unless you step on my Long Tai's body. Just when Xiao Xian was sighing, a rich voice suddenly appeared next to him. He looked back. But he saw a tall, dark-skinned man standing at the door like an iron tower. Dragon Iron? Xiao Xian frowned slightly. He had never heard of this name before. I know. Even if all the Yuling sect disciples are gone, you will still be there. Han Xian smiled, slowly peeling off the disguise on his face, revealing his true face. This scene. It also surprised Xiao Xian secretly. You know, Han Xian is not only wanted by the Yuling sect, but also a person that the Spirit Snake Alliance wants to kill. He is now taking the initiative to expose his whereabouts. Wouldn't it cause trouble? Or does Han Xian trust this Long Tai so much that his true identity has been exposed? Are you, the leader of the Han Xian clan? The tower-like man's eyes widened. When he saw clearly that the person standing in front of him was Han Xian, his knees weakened and he knelt on the ground. See this? Xiao Xian couldn't help being stunned. He didn't expect that this iron-like man who looked like he would rather bend than bend would kneel down directly. Dragon Iron. You have worked hard these years. Han Xian couldn't help but get wet at the corners of his eyes. Hundreds of years have passed. Although he was kicked out of Yuling sect, he still had some resentment towards the entire sect, but in the final analysis, he was still a disciple of Lord Yuling. At this time, Yuling sect is in trouble. Even Xiao Xian fought, so Han Xian naturally couldn't stand idly by. And in the current Yuling sect, Long Tai is the only person worthy of Han Xian's trust. Sect Master Han, you are finally back. In recent years, the entire Yuling sect has been in decline due to the scourge of that bastard in Han's Hong. Even sects like the Spirit Snake Alliance are riding on our heads. Long Tai gritted his teeth and said. For these words, Han Xian was helpless and could only shake his head and said, I heard that there are 2 Dragon God Realm strongmen in the Spirit Snake Alliance, Shi Qing Snake Ao. It's normal that we can't resist them. What? 2 Dragon God Realms? How is this possible? Just two guys, Shi Qing and Shi Ao, who were not even as good as one of my fingers at that time, how could they reach the dragon god realm? Long Tai was surprised. Did he leave too? Does this still look like a sect leader? This beast. Facing the provocation from the Spirit Snake Alliance. Isn't this a joke? More than 10 years ago, Shi Qing and Shi Ao were only at the peak of the Blue God realm. How could they enter the Dragon God realm in just a dozen years? Xiao Xian was confused instead and looked back at Han Xian. Han Xian's face was ashen. Being implicated by him, Yuling sect also became loose and lacked fighting spirit, if Long Tai, as the great elder, was not still there. In the future, maybe he will enter the Dragon God realm and entrust the Yuling sect to him. Maybe the Yuling sect will be better. Long Tai shook his head. Impossible. Why does it look like Long Tai doesn't know anything now? Isn't this a bit abnormal? This Han Zhong turned out to be a loser. He should know more about the strength of the Spirit Snake Alliance, right? Elder Long Tai, you don't know this, Xiao Xian couldn't help but ask, does even the waiter of the restaurant know such news? After all, Han Zhong is also a strong man in the Golden God realm. Han Xian was also filled with anger. If the master is still here, he will definitely be cut into pieces and thrown into hell. Where is Hans Hong? As the elder of Yuling sect, Long Tai. At this moment, when the life and death of the Yuling sect was at stake, Han Zhong, as the sect leader, went into hiding. Han Xian gritted his teeth and said, but today I, Han Xian, come back, and the Yuling sect will not be broken up. Originally he was thinking about it. No matter how talented they are, it's impossible for their strength to improve so quickly. He didn't even dare to fart and just ran away. According to normal logic, the Yuling sect has declared war on the Spirit Snake Alliance. It is impossible for the Yuling sect to be so ignorant of the strength of the Spirit Snake Alliance. According to normal logic, the Fish Spirit sect and the Spirit Snake Alliance have been at odds for a long time, and there should be some fighting between them. You don't even know how many Dragon God realm experts are on the opposite side? I am afraid that the Yuling sect has long since dissipated. But who knows? At that time, he accidentally went too far while practicing, and his realm fell, so he was forced by Han Zhong to leave the Yuling sect. Think of this. Seeing him like this, Xiao Xian became even more confused. He is very harsh towards his senior brother, but not so tough when facing outsiders. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1097. Good. Very good. Long Tai's face was full of excitement. Sect Master, not all of our Yuling sect disciples have left, there are still some disciples who are willing to follow me. Hear this. Instead, Han Xian's eyes lit up. He was a little worried that under the leadership of Han Zhong, the Yuling sect would no longer have anyone available. Unexpectedly, there were some fresh troops around Long Tai. This is of course perfect. But after Long Tai said this, he also looked embarrassed. It's just that they still have some fighting power, but they have no fighting spirit. I understand. Xiao Xian nodded. The current Yuling sect can be said to be in pieces. Powerful enemies are around, the sect leader is missing, and his disciples are fleeing. These things put together are enough to make ordinary disciples of the Yuling sect feel stressed. For this situation, it is normal for ordinary disciples to feel fear and hesitation. But don't worry, old master. You were very prestigious when you were the leader of the Yuling section. This time you return to the Yuling sect, you still have the majesty you deserve. As long as you raise your arms and raise your voice, many people will naturally support you. Long Tai said hopefully. Hearing this, Han Xian felt a little embarrassed. Is what you said true? At that time, I was also kicked out of the sect, so I didn't have any prestige. No, no. Sect master, you don't know something. At that time, the people who expelled you from the sect were basically Han Zhong's cronies, so they did not represent all the sect disciples. Long Tai said seriously. Moreover, most of the sect disciples have watched the sect decline under the leadership of Han Zhong for such a long time, so they have also seen the true nature of Han Zhong. Say it. Xiao Xian next to him also looked a little curious. Speaking of which, if Han Xian really still has prestige within the Yuling sect, this will naturally be a good thing for them. At least, there was Han Xian's call. It is equivalent to having the support of some Yuling sect disciples. Thus, no matter what kind of attacks they face next from the Spirit Snake Alliance, they are confident. So, how's it going in White Flame Valley? I remember that the old man Bai Yan in White Flame Valley is also a strong man in the Dragon God realm. Could it be that they are also willing to become vassals of the Spirit Snake Alliance? Han Xian continued to ask. Yes. Speak of it. Old man Bian can be regarded as a tough guy among the three Eastern alliances. However, after being injured by two mysterious Dragon God realm experts, he had no choice but to compromise for the lives of all the disciples in Bian Valley. Long Tai said, at that time, the disciples still suspected that this was an excuse, but if the two of them, Shi Qing Xiao, are really strong men in the Dragon God realm, then this is true. Listen to these words. Instead, Xiao Xian felt suspicious. According to what the waiter at the hotel said, there are two strong men in the Dragon God realm, Snake Green Snake Ao, in the Spirit Snake Alliance. But Long Tai said. More than 10 years ago, these two people were still at the peak of the Blue God realm. So, how could they suddenly become powerful men in the Dragon God realm in just a dozen years? Isn't this a bit incredible? Could it be that? What secret technique did these two people use to forcibly improve their strength? Thinking of this, Xiao Xian's face became a little more solemn. If this is the case, the Yuling sect may not be afraid of the Spirit Snake Alliance, and it may not fail. Interesting. Does it mean that our Yuling sect doesn't have strong men at the level of the Dragon God? Xiao Xian asked a key question. Among the three Eastern alliances, since both the White Flame Valley and the Spirit Snake Alliance have strong men at the Dragon God level, doesn't it mean that the Yuling sect doesn't have them? Isn't this a bit embarrassing? Could it be said that with the strength of the Yuling sect, it could become one of the three Eastern alliances in Nanzan Hai's Hu? This. Our Yuling sect once had one, and Venerable Yuling was also a famous Dragon God realm powerhouse in the entire Nanzan Hai continent. Han Xian was a little embarrassed. However, Long Tai's eyes were a little strange. He looked at Xiao Xian with a bit of doubt in his eyes. Who are you, and can you question our Yuling sect? In fact, when I just saw Xiao Xian, he was a little dissatisfied in his heart. In his opinion, Xiao Xian, a guy who looked like he was only at the Blue God level, was commenting on the Yuling sect in front of them. This somewhat made him a little dissatisfied. He is one of my little friends. Han Xian hesitated and then explained. Little friend. Long Tai couldn't help but frown. He knew the old sect master Han Xian quite well and knew that the latter was not someone who made friends casually. Now, Xiao Xian can be brought to the important place of the sect. It is also enough to prove that Han Xian attaches great importance to the latter. Just now, Long Tai still doesn't understand why he brought Xiao Xian here. Do he really think this is a malleable talent? Or will he become the key to the revival of the Yuling sect? Thinking about it, Long Tai didn't want to understand what was going on. Simply, he didn't think too much and just said, "Old sect leader, in that case, just follow me." Han Xian nodded and motioned for Xiao Xian to follow him. Xiao Xian noticed that Long Tai's expression became much more solemn and serious. Wrong. It looked extremely scary. No one needs to say more. Soon, he sensed that there was an aura that did not belong to the Yuling section. There was a battle here not long ago. Almost at the same time as Xiao Xian reminded him, a giant blue snake with a mottled body suddenly appeared from mid-air. On its triangular head, two cold gray eyes stared at the three of them. Anyone with a little bit of life experience can know that the Yuling sect is indeed a large sect with profound foundations. The giant green snake spits human words from its mouth. Ha ha ha. The long snake tongue spits out from the snake's mouth. Yuling sect is now a bit dilapidated. Say it. People from the Spirit Snake Alliance have probably sneaked in. At this time, this Han Xian and Long Tai's pupils shrank instantly. Although Han Xian and Long Tai's expressions also changed slightly. Careful. Why are all the disciples from the Elder Hall missing? Han Xian. I am really thinking about where to find you. The Yuling sect and the Spirit Snake Alliance had already declared war, but they did not expect that the Spirit Snake Alliance would move so quickly. Did not expect. But while walking, I didn't expect that you would throw yourself into a trap and return to the sect. This really saves me a lot of trouble. Xiao Xian's soul is powerful. But it is still very powerful. Both the sect area and the sect mansion are much larger than ordinary sects. People from the Spirit Snake Alliance. Long Tai frowned. After walking to a training hall, I found that it was empty and there were messy blood stains on the ground. It is said that if the cultivators of the Spirit Snake Alliance reach the Dragon God realm, they will have the ability to transform into giant snakes. They actually met today. They sent people directly to their sect. There was no more relaxation and joy than when he saw Han Xian just now. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1098. Checking. I heard the giant blue snake spit out human words. Han Xian's face also changed suddenly. At this moment, there is no strong person who has cultivated to the Dragon God realm in the Yuling sect. If this Snake Qing really reaches the Dragon God realm, now in the Yuling sect, wouldn't it be like a wolf among the sheep? Ha ha ha. Han Xian is indeed Han Xian. He was once the most talented disciple of Yuling section. Even if we haven't seen him for hundreds of years, you can still recognize me at a glance. The giant snake transformed into a human form. An old man wearing a green robe, with a thin face and gleaming eyes slowly walked over. From this old man, it also exudes an extremely domineering and powerful aura. This surprised both Han Xian and Long Tai, and they retreated involuntarily, as if they had seen some horrific scene. To know. They are all powerful men at the level of the little golden god. Even if he faced the real golden god realm, he might not be incapable of fighting, but now facing the Snake Qing, he felt an invisible sense of oppression. It's like he hasn't taken action yet. He has already lost to the opponent. This really frightened them secretly, and they couldn't believe what they were seeing. There seems to be only one explanation for this situation, and that is that Shi Qing is already a strong man at the Dragon God level. How about it? Do you two take the initiative to follow me to the Spirit Snake Alliance to claim your guilt, or are you waiting for me to arrest you to claim your guilt? Snake Qing's face showed a sarcastic look. Obviously, he prefers the latter. Hear this. Han Xian and Long Tai also turned pale with anger. You know, no matter what, they are still the great elders and former heads of the Yuling sect. But now, in his own sect, to be so threatened by a member of the Spirit Snake Alliance. Isn't this equivalent to someone slapping them in the face? Not to mention, if they are taken to the Spirit Snake Alliance, there will definitely be no good end. Even if they go, they will never be coerced into going. Snake Green. You're a little too arrogant. Don't even look at where this place is. This is the holy land of our Yuling section. If the Yuling formation is activated, even if you are in the Dragon God realm, you will perish here. Han Xian's face was gloomy. As he spoke, he circulated the power of the avenue. Then, an illusory fish spirit path slowly appeared and began to communicate with the fish spirit aura within the Yuling sect. But for Han Xian's actions, Shi Qing, on the other hand, looked disdainful and didn't even react. She just watched helplessly as he contacted these auras. It seemed that he didn't take this matter to heart at all. This actually made Xiao Xian and Long Tai a little curious to know. As the oldest and largest sect in Yuling City, the Yuling sect's formation is still extremely powerful. Once the fish spirit formation is activated, even if a strong person in the Dragon God realm is trapped, he may not be able to struggle. It is said that once the Yuling sect was attacked by two strong men in the Dragon God realm, and the venerable Yuling at that time activated the Yuling formation, killing these two powerful men in one fell swoop. Now, Xiao Xian and Long Tai were a bit confused by Shi Qing's entrustment. At this moment, no one needs to say more. The scene in front of me has already proved the power of the fish spirit formation. After Han Xian used the way of fish spirit to communicate, a huge fish head phantom instantly rose up in the original fish spirit sect. The fish head contains the pure power of the fish spirit. With this fish head phantom, in an instant, he suppressed some of the spiritual snakes on Shi Qing's body just now. It's interesting. I didn't expect that this old guy like you could really activate the fish spirit formation. It's a bit beyond my expectations. Shi Qing smiled slightly. Judging from his calm demeanor, it seemed that he didn't take the fish spirit formation seriously at all. This actually aroused Xiao Xian's doubts. To know. Although the Yuling sect declined, but the Yuling formation is the Yuling sect's sect formation. Once activated, it is extremely powerful. Is this snake green so big? Do you really think that with his understanding of the Great Dao, you can really ignore the power of the fish spirit formation? He. Originally, I thought that since the surrender of South Korea and China, no one would be able to activate the fish spirit formation. I didn't expect that Han Xian, you actually inherited the great path of Master Yuling and had the ability to activate the fish spirit formation. This really surprises me. Shi Qing touched his bare chin and said playfully, but even if you can activate the Yuling formation, so what? Without enough power of the Yuling avenue, you alone cannot fully activate the array. After he said these words, Han Xian's face also changed color slightly. He knows. Although Shi Qing's words were straightforward, they were indeed true. Back then, Venerable Yuling, as a strong man in the Dragon God realm, relied on his profound understanding of the way of the fish spirit to activate the fish spirit formation. Now, although Han Xian is the eldest disciple of Lord Yuling, however, when it comes to understanding the way of fish spirits, he is indeed far behind the former. If you want to fully activate the fish spirit formation at this moment, there is only one way, and that is to rely on the strength of all the disciples of the Yuling sect, but now the disciples of the Yuling sect are dying and running away. Full of calculations are all the elders of Longti Elder Hall. But now, these elders have disappeared. It is not easy to open the fish spirit formation again. Even if Han Xian uses all his strength, he may not be able to fully activate the fish spirit formation. If the fish spirit array cannot be fully activated, facing Shi Qing, who has the strength of the Dragon God realm, I'm afraid they have no chance of winning. As expected, although Han Xian was able to mobilize the fish spirit energy in the fish spirit formation, he was ultimately unable to do so alone. Even with Long Tai's help, he could not completely activate the fish spirit formation. Damn it! If Han Zhong is still here, with the protection of the Yuling formation, why would our Yuling sect be like this? Han Xian couldn't help but sigh. He can feel it. With his current power of the little golden god realm, he is indeed unable to activate the fish spirit formation. But, with your current strength, you haven't really reached the dragon god realm. You are still far from the true dragon god realm. Han Xian's eyes were full of coldness and he said to Shi Qing, the aura of you and my master, venerable fish spirit, are completely different. You are not in the dragon god realm. Say it. Shi Qing's face calmed down a bit. He looked at Han Xian seriously for the first time, and then said with a sneer, he is indeed the most talented leader of the Yuling section. Although his realm has fallen, he has a good vision. Good. I, Snake Qing, was only in the Kangshen realm a few decades ago. It is indeed difficult to reach the dragon god realm in such a short period of time. But, you don't know, there is something called the human snake technique in our spirit snake alliance. There was fanaticism in Sheking's eyes. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1099. What kind of human snake technique? However, Han Xian is well informed. Hearing Shi Qing's words, there was still a bit of doubt on his face. He could understand that the Spirit Snake Alliance, as one of the former three Eastern alliances, must have the secrets of the sect. But for hundreds of years, they have not seen the Spirit Snake Alliance use this so-called human snake technique. Why did it suddenly appear now? And also rely on this secret technique to create two strong men who are strong enough to reach the level of Dragon God? That's fine. I'm in a good mood today, so I'll let you guys understand. Our Spirit Snake Alliance originates from ancient sections. There are naturally ancient secrets in the section. As long as people with ancient bloodlines can devour ancient bloodline snake species, they can unite humans and snakes to forcibly improve their realm. And today, I, Shi Qing and Shi Ao, are people of ancient bloodline. Indeed, we are not really in the Dragon God realm, but our strength far exceeds that of the Golden God realm. Now, do you really understand? Shi Qing looked contemptuous. Looking at Xiao Xian and the others, he sneered, today, don't say that you can't activate the fish spirit formation. Even if you activate it, you can't do anything to my ancient divine snake. After saying that, as if to show off, he reincarnated into a giant blue snake. Just a beast. It turned out to be a way to show off. It's so ridiculous and deplorable. After hearing what Shi Qing said, Long Tai and Han Xian were both surprised, and at the same time, they were somewhat afraid of Shi Qing. But Xiao Xian was indifferent and even took the initiative to ridicule. This surprised Han Xian and Long Tai even more. You know, even the two of them couldn't do anything to Shi Qing. This Xiao Xian is just a 5-star Kangshen realm. Why do you dare to be so presumptuous and dare to mock Shi Qing in public? Isn't this an impatient life? If Shi Qing is really furious, even if Han Xian and Long Tai join forces, they may not be able to protect him. Ha ha ha. Are all the disciples of the Yuling sect so ignorant? A mere 5-star in the Kangshen realm actually dares to utter arrogant words? Forget it, I'm going to pull your tongue out today to see if you still dare to be arrogant. Sheking was furious. A huge green snake fell from the sky, like a dragon descending into the world. The powerful aura of the ancient demon clan was released, casting a heavy layer of demon clan pressure on Xiao Xian and the other three. Damn it! It's really an ancient bloodline. How can this human snake technique be so terrifying? Can it fuse human and snake bloodlines? Han Xian was taken aback. Just now, although he saw Sheking's green snake form, it was not in a fighting state after all. Now I can see with my own eyes what Shi Qing looks like in a fighting state. He just realized it. The human snake technique of the Spirit Snake Alliance is truly extraordinary. With one attack, he could actually have such a powerful demonic aura. However, seeing this scene, Xiao Xian was indeed secretly happy. Ancient atmosphere? Ancient demon clan? Isn't this Xiaolu's favorite thing? Since the last time Xiaolu got the broken ancient stone tablet, her body and form have evolved. Now, if you swallow this giant green snake again, couldn't it be that the strength can be further improved? For so long, Xiaolu helped him a lot. It can be said that Xiaolu and Tianlang's sword were his right and left hands. Now, the ancient green snake appears. This is simply food delivered to your door. God doesn't take it, but it bites you. Xiao Xian believed that if Xiaolu, who was an ancient beast, knew that there was such a monster of ancient bloodline that he could devour, he would be very happy. But now, the only problem is how to suppress this human snake. Then let's see if you have this ability. Xiao Xian sneered, as a human, but for the sake of power, you grovel to the monsters. I really don't know if the human blood in your body will be ashamed of you if it knows. This was said in a loud voice. Not only did Shi Qing hear it clearly, but Han Xian and Long Tai also heard it. Regarding this sentence, they all looked slightly solemn on their faces and looked at Shi Qing warily. They both knew it. According to the rumors among the three Eastern alliances, the avenue practiced by the cultivators in the Spirit Snake Alliance is related to the ancient divine snakes. Therefore, there are rumors that they are not a human race, but a demon race. About this rumor, the people of the Spirit Snake Alliance are extremely disgusted. As long as they hear about it, they will basically tell each other to the end. Now the Spirit Snake Alliance is powerful. Who knows? Since he is a disciple that sect Master Han values. A strong person at the level of the little golden god needs to cultivate hard for at least hundreds of years. After self-destruction, all this will turn into nothingness. Good. If it really blows up. Xiao Xian didn't care at all. Even Han Xian and Long Tai were worried about Xiao Xian. Such a level of strength. Isn't this a provocation to the entire Spirit Snake Alliance? He actually planned to self-destruct in exchange for one life. Even a strong man at the level of Dragon God must think carefully if he wants to say these words. Not only will the physical body disappear, but the soul will also be completely annihilated. Both Han Xian and Long Tai suspected that Xiao Xian deliberately angered Shi Qing. You even dare to say such treasonous things. Xiao Xian was so bold today. He dared to say such words in front of Shi Qing. Xiao Xian, you are too reckless. Han Xian subconsciously stopped in front of Xiao Xian and whispered, you go first, Long Tai, and I will hold the snake green. Long Tai gritted his teeth and said, Shi Qing, I will show you today the backbone of a disciple of the Yuling sect. Perhaps, the Yuling sect will really be revitalized by you in the future. Such words have become a taboo in the eastern part of Nanzan Haizhu. From the previous fight, they knew Shi Qing's strength. It could be said that Shi Qing's strength was infinitely close to the Dragon God realm. The whole body swelled. It is definitely not something that Xiao Xian can compete with head-on. Sure enough, after Xiao Xian said these words, Shi Qing's face became more and more gloomy. I didn't expect that there are people on Nanzan Haizhu who are so reckless. It is definitely not someone Xiao Xian can fight against. But it is undeniable. I'm also just trying to see what you, the beasts who have surrendered to the monster and don't even have the courage to be human, can do to me. Seeing this, Shi Qing's face also changed slightly. Long Tai was also a strong man at the level of the little golden god. Such a level of strength. Such self-destruction will also pose some threats to Shi Qing. As he spoke, the power of the Great Avenue surged in his body instantly. Shi Qing himself admitted that he was not a real strong man in the Dragon God realm, but his strength had undoubtedly surpassed the Golden God realm and was infinitely close to the Dragon God realm. I have changed my mind now. I will not kill you on the spot today. Instead, I will capture you back to the Spirit Snake Alliance and let you enjoy the pain of 10,000 snakes eating your heart. Even though. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not fo. Chapter 1100. See this scene. Xiao Xian's face was also slightly moved. At the beginning, he was a little disdainful of this stupid, dark, and thick Long Tai, thinking that he was just a guy with high expectations. But now, Long Tai's behavior really touched him. At this moment, facing an opponent so much stronger than himself, he still had the courage to step forward to fight, and even chose to self-destruct in order to protect his companions. This courage alone is worthy of Xiao Xian's admiration. Now, just when Long Tai was about to use all the Tao power in his body to explode, he suddenly found that the power of the Tao that was originally surging in his body stopped in an instant. The power of the avenue was originally brought out from the Sea of Qi. Returned to the Sea of Qi. This. Long Tai felt that it was a bit surprising that the originally surging power of the avenue in his body had calmed down again. To know. Now he is also a strong man at the level of Little Golden God. The power of the avenue within the body is naturally relatively powerful. It is easy to let the power of one's own avenue surge, but it is not that simple to let such power of the avenue calm down again. Now, under Xiao Xian's methods, Long Tai felt that the power of the avenue in his body had calmed down, which in his opinion was simply incredible. To know. Xiao Xian is just a 5-star Kangshen realm. This level of strength does not seem to be enough to prevent a little golden god from self-destructing. In fact, even if Shi Qing is already halfway to the dragon god realm, it would be extremely difficult to stop him from self-destructing. This was also Long Tai's confidence to die at that time. But now, such a scene is magical. Long Tai couldn't help but look surprised, and glanced at Xiao Xian in disbelief. Xiao Xian, as a Kangshen realm. This can be done. There are only two possibilities. One is that Xiao Xian's power of the Great Dao is extremely powerful. Although he is in the Blue God realm, his real strength is no less than the Dragon God realm. The other is that Xiao Xian has a very deep understanding of the way of the fish spirit, and can prevent him from self-destruction by relying on his understanding of the way of the fish spirit. Figure this out. Long Tai was even more surprised. He is not a fool. At this time, he can naturally see that the first option is basically impossible, so the only option is the second option. That is to say, Xiao Xian, does this person have a deeper understanding of the way of fish spirits than he does? This is even more incredible. To know. In the entire Nanzan Heizhu, the one with the most profound understanding of the way of the fish spirit is the Yuling sect. And this Xiao Xian is not even a disciple of Yuling sect. Why can he, this guy, have such a profound understanding of the way of the fish spirit? This is simply incredible. Although Long Tai is tall and thick, he is not reckless. For a moment, he also understood what Xiao Xian meant. Relying on Xiao Xian's deep understanding of the way of fish spirits, even if his power of the avenue is insufficient, he still has the opportunity to activate the fish spirit formation. Actually. Long Tai was also surprised and happy. Not just dragon iron. Han Xian next to him also had a look of surprise. As the former head of the Yuling sect, he could naturally see that Xiao Xian had a very deep understanding of the way of the Yuling sect. Even stronger than him. This was indeed something he didn't expect. Amazing. It's truly amazing. Han Xian praised. But at this time, Long Tai and Han Xian could understand Xiao Xian, but Shi Qing did not. In his opinion, Xiao Xian is completely a guy who is looking for death. Court death. Then don't blame me for being rude. Shi Qing didn't pay attention to what Xiao Xian had just done. In his opinion. Now, if he wanted to kill Xiao Xian, or even kill 3 of Xiao Xian's people, it would be a simple matter. We can even say. It doesn't even take a minute. He can take away the lives of these 3 people. Interesting. Ants-like people, Are you worthy of provoking me in front of me? In this case, I will let you know what real fear is. Shi Qing finished speaking. His entire body instantly turned into a giant blue snake. The giant green snake exuded a fierce monster aura, which was intimidating. Roar! The green snake roared angrily. The whole body instantly rose into the air. He opened his big mouth and bit into Xiao Xian's head. Even Han Xian and Long Tai were surprised when they saw such a fierce look. They didn't expect it either. Shi Qing, who transformed into the form of a snake, was so terrifyingly powerful that they even felt a terrifying threat even from such a distance. Ha ha! How dare you take the initiative to attack? In that case, don't blame me for being rude to you. Facing the giant green snake with monstrous flames, Shi Qing roared angrily. Boom! He couldn't believe that as a person in the dragon god realm, he couldn't do anything when facing a blue god realm. At the moment when the giant green snake was about to bite him. After all, the inheritance he received came from Lord Yuling. Xiao Xian sneered. Even Shi Qing was a little irritable. The giant green snake jumped into the air. Compared with Xiao Xian, who has the blessing of the fish spirit way, he is still not fast enough. The way of the fish spirit. Boy! He is still very confident. Don't you dare to confront me head on. You only know how to avoid, what's the point of it? This time, try to communicate with the fish spirit formation of the U spirit sect. The huge body hit the ground with a loud noise, then jumped up again and rushed towards Xiao Xian. For this operation. Don't you think it's ridiculous? At this moment, the giant green snake couldn't even touch the corner of Xiao Xian's clothes, as if it was being played casually. What made him feel even more uneasy was, after every dodge, Xiao Xian's figure and movements became more agile, as if he was stronger. It can be said that with a little bit of his understanding of the fish spirit formation, he can mobilize the fish spirit formation. The thick snake tail flicked, and a tall stone pillar was instantly smashed, but Xiao Xian not far away was still unscathed. You, a giant snake that looks like an idiot, are you qualified to touch me? Want to confront me head on? What I'm best at is avoiding. This movement is already extremely sensitive. This made Shi Qing even more angry. But the body suddenly disappeared on the spot and reappeared dozens of meters away. On the contrary, he still had a sneer on his face. He did not dodge the giant blue snake, but instead activated his understanding of the way of the fish spirit in his body. But, you can't even catch up with my speed, why should you confront me head on? Xiao Xian was not afraid. Xiao Xian glanced at Shi Qing and smiled, but since you said so, let me try it and see how strong you are,